Sometimes I catch myself scrolling through social media and I'll see all these crazy photos of these beautiful sceneries or goofy, funny photos. It just makes me feel like the creative spark is coming back. But I also find that I also get caught up comparing myself to these other photographers. I like to think that these other photographers live in some other beautiful place in the world, and that's why they can always go out and take these crazy photos. And I'm just here living in boring old southwestern Ontario, and trips for me just come far and few between. I remember when I first started photography, and it didn't matter what I was shooting or where I was shooting. The funnest part was just learning how to take photos. During that time, I was just taking my camera with me everywhere. I would take photos of my friends, my food, my houseplants, my feet and hands, you name it. And at that time, I was simply just taking photos to learn and get better. At some point down the line, I started only taking photos of vacations and trips and not really anything in between. And so what happened? And well, the truth for me is social media. I used to share photos all the time, but the only photos that ever got attention was photos of when I went on trips. Everyone wants to feel validated, but no one wants to feel unseen. Pretty much just stopped sharing my photos unless they're my absolute best. And truthfully, that was definitely a mistake. If my potential of capturing a epic shareable photo wasn't there, I pretty much just didn't bring my camera at all. And that's pretty much how my last few years of my photography journey has been. How do I bring back the fun in photography now? Right now, in the current world of photography, it kind of just feels like the only photos that matter are the ones that live on your social media, where everyone is pretty much just competing for attention. As photographers, we take thousands of images, but only a handful of them will ever actually make it as a post. And realistically, for every 1,000 photos, you probably have 50 great photos of your friends, 50 great photos of your family, and probably another 50 great photos of things that you thought had cool lighting. And chances are, if these photos don't fit your brand, or you don't think people are gonna like them, so you'll never post these images. How often do you really go back and look at these photos? At least for me, not that often. That's when all these great photos just go to die. However, a lot of us forget that before the digital era, taking the photo was only half the equation. Back in the day, there was no posting photos or previewing images on your phone. Instead, photos had to be developed from film and be physically printed to see what you had. And from there, we would have this ever-growing collection of photo albums. And it just feels like this physical media has just been something that everyone has forgotten about. It's easy to overlook details when you're scrolling through hundreds of photos on your phone, but when you physically hold the image, I feel like you can see the intentions that the photographer was trying to make before you even took the photo. Maybe I'm just spewing out some foo-foo, but at least to me, I feel like there's something there. Recently, I've been carrying my little point shoots around much more often. These cameras are way smaller and they just feel like a toy. And truthfully, I'm starting to find photography fun again, because I know whatever I capture on this camera, I probably won't be sharing it onto my social media. And I'm just using this camera to capture memories for myself, which is pretty much the whole reason I got into photography in the first place. So I made myself a challenge this year, which is a photo exercise I'm calling White, or my weekly intentional photo exercise. I'll be back, let me go grab it. In this exercise, I got a board that will hold 9 photos. And if you want to join in on this exercise too, you don't need to even get a board like this. You can just use magnets on the side of your fridge. Just to fill up the board for now, I already preloaded it with my 9 favorite images from last year. And starting now, from the end of every week, I'll take one photo that I took that week, and I'm gonna replace a photo off this board. And from here, I'm gonna take this discarded image and start loading up my own personal photo album. Now, this photo could be anything. It could be something that made you laugh, or something that made you feel happy, or something that you just thought had great composition overall. There's no judgment or sense of pressure, even a brand or image I feel I have to hold up to. I can simply just have fun with it and bring it back to the basics of capturing memories for myself, which is the whole reason I got into photography in the first place. Now, if this is an exercise that you want to do too, I'll leave a few links down below for things like printers or anything like that that you may need to do this exercise too. Also, if you're gonna do this exercise, here's a few tips. Don't be worried what camera you're using for this. 4x6 images don't involve that much resolution, so even if you're just using your phone, if the lighting is good, I'm sure the images are gonna turn out great. The second tip is to always have a camera on you. These images are just for you. In the end, it doesn't really matter what camera you're using. The third tip is, if you do want to use your big camera, then I recommend never packing it away. Always keep it out and readily available. This will remove any barriers in case inspiration strikes. And the fourth tip is just have fun with it. If you miss a week or two, don't sweat it, because in the end, it's just a personal exercise for yourself. Hopefully in 10 years from now, if you keep this up, you're gonna have a rock solid photo collection too. And that's it. Let me know in the comments how you guys keep photography fun. Or if you have any suggestions on how to make this exercise even better, let me know. Until next time, ciao.